Hey guys, ZaiZoe here. Welcome to my channel. We've got some great attacks coming up. We're going to be talking about shield strats and does language change really matter? But first, don't forget to click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and be the first to get the videos. We are going to be doing a giveaway next weekend, so you might want to keep those notifications on. Let's get into some of this discussion. So is Town Hall 6 Legends possible? I'm not 100% sure at the moment. It depends whether the system stays like it is. If it stays like it is, yes, I believe before 2020 we could see a Town Hall 6 with a Legends badge. It is going to take time, luck, and patience. As with almost every Town Hall level that is below max levels, you must take that time to be patient to find those raids that you're going to win, not lose on. And we are going to see what happens. As I've always said, I'm not really pushing as hard as I used to push. I usually go with the motto of I'll go where the clouds take me, and that's what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to stick to wherever the clouds take me is what I'm going to be happy with. If you play any different than that, you are going to become angry and frustrated at the game, and it's not going to be as enjoyable. So just keep that in mind. You just go where the clouds take you. Whatever is. Don't want it too badly. And of course, everybody I seem to know out there in the pushing game falls for the post hoc ergo propto hoc fallacy.
The what?
The post hoc ergo propto hoc fallacy. It's pretty simple. In Latin, it's just basically after this because of this. So people get this into their heads. It's almost like a placebo or superstitious. They get into their heads that they're not finding any bases. Clouds are really going slow. So they exit their clouds, change their language, they find some bases, and all of a sudden, now they are convinced that correlation is causation. And if you know anything about philosophy and logic, correlation is not always causation, and that your premises have to be sound in order to lead up to the conclusion.
You're doing it again, ZaiZoe. You keep doing it.
Okay, not necessarily important, but shield stratting. I have a video out there. You guys might want to check it out. It's on my channel. It is a little bit outdated because the 1 day and the 10 or 2 day shield were a 5-day cooldown and a 10-day cooldown. They have slightly changed, and so has the defense shield times. So although there has been some slight changes there, I believe the video is still good enough that you guys can learn from it, and you'll be able to get a better understanding of how to use them shields. Don't use them until you're at a significant trophy level. You don't need to waste your time. And as we're saying, does the language change really matter? No, it doesn't. And we used to do tests back in 2014 when I first broke the record, and we would change globals. We would find each other in the same global, sometimes again and again and again. So the odds that changing globals changes servers and that we could change multiple times and still keep finding each other almost sealed the deal for me that no, language doesn't actually matter. And don't forget, as always, click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. Now, what does happen, and we have shown this in other videos over the years, when you exit a cloud and then hit search again, you automatically refresh the server you're on. We also used to be able to verify this back in 2014. Getting through Masters was nearly impossible, and that is when I came up with the shield strat system to basically get you through 13 to 14 days of no defense and 6 sessions, just relaxed time to get through there, because it was nearly impossible. But once you broke that wall, it was pretty easy to stay up there. And we used to prove this. Basically, you would be searching in bases, and then you would start to see the same base over and over. I mean, we would go through
anywhere between, I spent upwards of $3 million in gold once to be able to find one base that I was able to hit. So when people say, oh, it was easy back then because there was snipes, no, that wasn't the case. The snipes were few and far between, and mainly you saw max Town Hall 10s. And 7s weren't really fully advanced yet. I mean, there's been so many changes and so many buffs and nerfs and added levels with troops. We weren't perfected on the attacks to Town Hall 10s at that point in time. So whenever we saw a Town Hall 9, myself, I went for it. And that was considered risky as a pusher for a Town Hall 7 because it wasn't as simple as it is now. It's weird to kind of say that, and it's not to take away from anybody because it's still not simple. All the emotions are still the same. Just a little less time needed to break certain points as opposed to before. However, we would see the same bases over and over. You would come out of clouds, go back into search, and you would be like, oh, I forgot to hit subscribe. So you'd hit subscribe, and then you'd go back into your search again, and all of a sudden, different bases would pop up. So you could also prove that exiting clouds and entering clouds, again, was refreshing the server by, you would show somebody your base in global and they would like it. You'd be like, oh yeah, check out this one. And they'd be like, yeah, it's still the same base. But if you hit start search, stop search, and then went back and said to the guy, check it out now, he would see it because your server was refreshed. So your base was updated again. That is how we knew. So what's happening is they're making a fallacy. They're going off of the correlation is causation, and after this, therefore because of this. They exit clouds and automatically refresh their server. So it didn't matter if they changed language or not. And they can never prove that because now they've already taken that step of changing language, so they simply think it must be because of this. Don't get caught up into that. Language does not matter. And as for things like strategies, what troops you should use, depending where you are. At the moment right now, I'm going with this strat. Giants in the front, Wizards Archers behind, and keeping 2 baby dragons in the CC. That may change as I get up higher because I'll start to see more 7s, 8s, and 9s, and I might have to switch to a Bart style. That seems to be what the 6s are using right now, and I believe the highest Town Hall 6 sitting in the 4600s area at the moment. So I got a large amount of ground to cover.
You are never going to catch him. It's not going to happen. Nope. No way.
And that might be true, but again, we're just going to go where the clouds take us. Whatever happens, happens, and we'll see where we end up. Who knows? We might be lucky enough to get to that first Town Hall 6 legend status, but it's going to be difficult. If you've ever pushed a low level and you thought pushing a Town Hall 7 was annoying, hey, 7's got pretty beastly attacks if you go with the current strats that are out there for the Dragon Minions or the Dragon Minion Archer attacks with the Loons in CC. They're getting up there. They're able to take the 9s. They're able to take 10s. You guys check out my channel. You'll see lots of good attacks. It's possible. When you're at Town Hall 6, you are way out of your league trying to step up into the higher ranks, and you are going to get frustrated. So just be calm, have patience, and don't take those risks that you don't need to take early on. You don't need to take big bases if it's a big risk and a little gain. And I know that I'm pushing, but I'm not going to be an asshole. I am going to do my best to not minus 59 or minus 39 any little guys on the way up. If I have a loss of -1, I will be awarding most likely the Town Hall 7 or Town Hall 8 30% shield and ending raid. So know right now, if you see me attacking your base and you get a +1 or a +0 awarded, and you laugh because it looks like I wasted all my troops trying to get 50%. That's not the case. It'll be because I wasted all my troops trying to give you 30% instead of going in, taking the funnel, and trying to get the 2 stars. So don't mock me. I'm going to try and be nice here. I'm also hoping that I end up finding myself. That would be perfect. Then I'd have a real dilemma on what to do. So things are pretty basic right now, as you guys can see. Not really having to take very much risk. Pretty much 3-starring everything. Basically going with the motto of I have to be able to gain plus 20 cups or more, or I'm not going to attack it. So that's what I'm going with right now. We'll see how far that takes me up to. And a base finally opened up on my Town Hall 7. Everybody just heard that, and they probably looked at their own phone thinking, what was going on? Oh, and a little apology there. Rest in peace, ears, everybody, because as you know, I'm working with a new editor at the moment, and yesterday there was a spot where I forgot to take out the in-game sound, and yeah, some people's ears definitely hurt if you're wearing earphones. And it was a Town Hall 10 worth 8 cups. So yeah, we're not going to be taking that because we're sitting in our position looking for our big whale right now. That is what's needed. You have to get to a certain point to take that Town Hall 7 record. Second place was just taken by Muhaha, I think, at 5,044 cups. Anyways,